Hello to my dear friends, how are you? I am sitting in the parking lot of Hobby Lobby, which is to my right, your left, and my left, your right is Walgreens. We get our prescriptions at Walgreens, and I am pretty sure that we own stock in Walgreens just for me alone and all the prescriptions that I have filled in the last probably year and a half or so, and it's all been that's right, you can't see me. And now I can't hardly see you because I took my sunglasses off. It's all been for my head pain, and then a car accident a year ago from my hip pain. So a lot of different kinds of pain medicine, a lot of experimenting. Okay, so this morning I went to my regular family doctor. Right after that, I went to the ENT, that's ear, nose, and throat specialist. This is my third time to see him. So last week I went to the neurologist. It was the fourth neurologist. Then I went to my medical doctor today to tell him what we talked about and then ask him about the medicine that he was prescribing and the dosage that he was giving me. Because I'm really sensitive to medication, and my current family doctor does not have a problem with me saying that triptans give me trouble, or that, you know, there's just so much that I don't like about a medication. He doesn't mind adjusting that one or just going to a different one. He's like, you know, there are thousands of medications. We'll just find one that works. So when I was in with the neurologist, he prescribed 500 milligrams, and I mentioned to him how that I'm really sensitive to medication. And he said, numbers don't matter when you're talking about different milligrams. He compared it to salt granules to sugar granules. They are not the same thing, and so you can't compare them. So just take that number of 500 out of your head. And I thought, well, okay. So I went home and I did a little research on dosages of Depakote. Then I went into my doctor today, and he said a third of that is probably going to be about all that you can tolerate. And he's been seeing me for over a year, and we've tried a lot of different things because he's really willing to be outside the box and just try a lot of different things, because he feels like there are so many possibilities out there that we don't need to stop at one or two, or we don't need to struggle through with one medication if it's not really doing the job. So he prescribed the same Depakote, but he's giving me 125 milligrams, and the other one was an extended release. This one is a delayed reaction, or it's not called delayed reaction, it's delayed, it's called delayed, I think that's right. He wants me to cut them in half and do it twice a day. The other one was 500 milligrams extended release at nighttime before you go to bed, and this new one is 125, cut it in half morning and night. Let's see how that goes. He said if it's extended release you can't cut them in half, but he didn't have a problem with the delayed to cut it in half. So I just went to Walgreens and I filled that. But I wanted to tell you about last week after I went to the neurologist. I told you all about that visit and all the things he wanted to give me. He gave me some Cambia. Cambia is a powder. It is potassium. This morning I had a really big headache. I drank a glass of powdered magnesium. Then I remembered that and I went and got that. So I've not had any pill prescription medicine today, and it has brought it down just enough that I feel like, you know, I'll be okay to be out. I've now been to 2 doctor's offices, and I kind of just want to be out. I spend so much time in the house, and sometimes I just, you know, have to sit down and be still for a while, and then I can get up and move on. So now that I'm out, I kind of just want to stay out, even though really I could just go home and be on the couch, because my head is just, it would just be happy if I laid it down for just a little while. But I decided I'm going to go get the oil changed in the car. So I'm waiting for my appointment, but I wanted to tell you about these doctor's visits. Okay, so that's what he did. So he just changed the Depakote, and he's also sending me to an allergist. So then I went to the ENT, told him everything about the neurologist, told him everything about today. he is suggesting that I go to an immunologist before I go to an allergist. He really thinks that there's something neurological in my head that's causing my headaches, and that's why different things that I've tried, like nose sprays. He said a steroid in your nose, if it's caused by something in your sinuses, he said that should make a really big difference, and it's not, and I've tried different kinds of sprays that haven't done anything. So the ENT really thinks that there's something neurological going on, and he said they're just not finding it. So he's sending me to an immunologist, and then they can send me to the allergist if they think that I need to. So I think I have all this stuff straight. So the ENT told me to go ahead and start on the Depakote, go to the immunologist, go back to see him in 2 months. So I already made an appointment for 2 months, and then I will go back to see the MD. So they're kind of all working together to see what we need to do. Oh, the other thing is that I have to look at my paper to get the name. EMG, I do not know what that stands for, but the neurologist said that he would do an EMG test. It's where they test the nerves. They do these shocks on your nerves to make sure that you're getting the right signals in your nerves and your nerves are working. So in my left leg, I had a hip problem from the car accident. I answered no to all of his questions, but he said we could go ahead and do that test. But when I went to my regular doctor, the MD today, he still thinks that my problem is from muscles, and he said the trip that you just made that has really increased the pain in your hip, he said that kind of proves to him that it's definitely muscle and it is not nerve. He doesn't think I need that test, so I'm just going to go ahead and call and cancel the test. The test takes about 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's mildly miserable to have those electric shocks going through your nerves. So if I don't need to have that done, there's no point in it. So I'm going to go ahead and call and cancel that visit. So I'm seeing the neurologist, the regular doctor, the ENT, and maybe we're getting closer to finding a resolve. I'm super happy with the Cambia that I took this morning. So I'm going to maybe hang out just a tiny bit before I start on the Depakote. I did just fill it over at Walgreens. But anyway, I wanted to let you know what was going on with that and where we are. Maybe we're about to have some answers. The ringing in my ears is super loud. Nobody can do anything about it. My ears, okay, so I have all this head pain 24/7, and then I have these ringing ears together. It's like I can think and I can focus my brain, but there's all this stuff it's like pressure. I know what brain fog is like. I had that for years. I don't have it anymore. Brain fog is kind of like having cotton candy in your head. This is a little bit different from that because it feels like just pressure on my head, and it's interference. So no matter what I'm thinking about or what I'm doing, like right now I'm talking to you and I'm trying to think about what I'm saying and pull all my thoughts together, but while I'm doing all this, I have this interference that's just coming on all sides of my head. That's the best way I can describe it. Is it's just an enormous amount of interference, and I can only concentrate and think for a certain amount of time because it gets to be so much work that I just have to rest my brain, and I just have to sit down and relax for a while, and I just can't think. Sometimes, once I'm done, I just have to sit down for like the rest of the day and not do anything that's too pressing and start all over again the next day. So this is the update from the ENT, the medical doctor. I'll put a link if you're interested in my neurologist visit and the rest of the details on that. Thank you so much for being here and listening to my story. Please say hello in the comments and talk to me. I will look to the hills from whence cometh my help, for my help cometh from the Lord. Every single day comes from the Lord. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.